There is immense power in a simple two-letter word that can define your reputation, your future, and even your fortune. This word is no, and knowing when to use it is what separates truly elegant men from mediocre ones. Have you noticed how certain men seem to naturally command respect wherever they go? It's not just the impeccable suit or the Swiss watch. It's something more subtle. The ability to establish clear boundaries without having to raise their voice. How much of your time, money, and peace of mind have you sacrificed because you didn't have the courage to say no? Think about it. That small favor that turned into a week of extra work. The loan to a distant cousin that was never repaid. The ruined night from accepting an invitation you knew you would hate. High-performing executives say no at least 8 times more than their mediocre colleagues, and it's no coincidence that they also earn 4 times more. When you say yes to everything, your time and energy fragment like a shattered mirror, unable to reflect any clear image of success. Today, I will reveal the 10 questions that an elegant man always answers with a resounding no. And more importantly, how to do it with such class that people will still admire you for it. If you want to elevate your status, protect your time, and be treated with the respect you deserve, click the like button right now, subscribe to the Man of Elegance channel, and turn on the notification bell. Elegance is not just appearance. It's the power to establish unbreakable boundaries. 1. Can I borrow money? Warren Buffett, one of the richest men on the planet, has a golden rule that has helped him preserve not only his fortune, but also his friendships. Never lend money to people close to you. It doesn't matter if it's your cousin, your co-worker, or even your best childhood friend. The moment you lend money, the dynamic of the relationship irrevocably changes. What was a friendship transforms into a creditor-debtor relationship. In the series Succession, Logan Roy, the billionaire patriarch, says a phrase that perfectly summarizes this situation. Money is like oxygen. It seems abundant until it starts to run out. An elegant man knows that lending money is not a favor. It's the beginning of a complication. He responds with a polite, "I'm sorry, it's my principle not to mix friendship and finances, but I can help you think of alternatives to resolve your situation." This response does 2 things simultaneously. It establishes a clear boundary and offers genuine assistance. You maintain your position without burning bridges. And remember, people who truly care about you will respect your boundaries. Those who insist after your refusal reveal much about their true intentions. Can you already imagine how many relationships and dollars this simple rule can save? And this is just the beginning. 2. Can you work for free? It will give you exposure. David Beckham, before becoming the global icon he is today, refused several offers to appear for free at events when he was starting out. He understood a fundamental truth. Whoever doesn't value their own work will never be valued by others. The currency of exposure is often offered to those who haven't yet learned to value their skills. Your talent, experience, and time have a price, and it's not zero. An elegant man responds to this type of proposal with, "I sincerely appreciate the invitation, but my current schedule only allows me to accept paid projects. I'll be happy to discuss a budget that works for both of us." This response is assertive without being aggressive. It clearly communicates your value without disrespecting the person who made the proposal. When you establish this precedent, something magical happens. People begin to take your work more seriously. Paradoxically, the more you refuse to work for free, the more paid offers begin to emerge. Professional respect is not given, it's earned. And it begins when you learn to say no to those who want your services without offering anything in return. And if you think this is difficult, wait until you discover the next situation that requires a categorical no. 3. Can I cut in line? As I see, it seems like an innocent request, perhaps even flattering. After all, they're returning to you as someone who can bend the rules. But a truly elegant man understands a profound truth. Character is revealed in small actions when no one important is watching. In 2018, a Yale University study found that people who respect lines are perceived as 42% more trustworthy and 38% more worthy of respect. It's not just a matter of etiquette, it's an indicator of integrity. An elegant man responds to this request with, "Unfortunately, I can't do that. It would be unfair to the people who are waiting patiently. I appreciate your understanding." This response demonstrates integrity and consideration for others, two hallmarks of a gentleman. Remember, true leaders don't need to break rules to demonstrate importance. On the contrary, their respect for social norms is precisely what makes them exemplary. Each time you resist the temptation to take illicit shortcuts, you strengthen your character, and a strong character is worth more than any momentary advantage. But this is just the beginning of how a no can protect your reputation. 4. Shall we travel together? Traveling is one of the most revealing experiences that exist. It's no coincidence that they say you only truly know someone after traveling together. Under conditions of stress, fatigue, unfamiliar environments, and frustrated plans, masks fall. The problem? What you see isn't always pleasant, and a friendship of years can end in a crowded airport after a cancelled flight. An elegant man understands that travel compatibility is as important as compatibility in other areas of life. He responds with, "I value our friendship too much to risk straining it with different travel expectations. Perhaps we can meet at some point along the way." This honest response preserves the relationship while establishing a clear boundary. It acknowledges that wonderful people can be terrible travel companions, and there's no shame in that. The regret of a ruined trip lasts much longer than the momentary discomfort of saying no. And speaking of complicated social situations. 5. Can we split the bill equally? This seemingly innocent question hides a social trap that can transform a pleasant meal into a test of character. Mathematics rarely lies. When someone suggests splitting the bill equally after ordering the most expensive wine and the most elaborate appetizer, they are usually seeking a polite way to subsidize their extravagant choices. An elegant man values both fairness and social harmony. He responds with, "I prefer to pay exactly for what I consumed. Let me see the bill to calculate my part properly." This response is direct without being confrontational. It establishes a precedent of equity without creating an uncomfortable atmosphere. Remember, genuine generosity is different from being manipulated into paying more than you should. An elegant man is generous by choice, not by social pressure. And speaking of social pressure, 6. Can I bring someone who wasn't invited? Modern etiquette may have become more flexible in many aspects, but some principles remain unwavering. One of them is respect for the host and their careful choices about who to invite to their event. When someone asks to bring an uninvited companion, they're essentially saying, "Your planning and considerations on a tea as important as my desire to bring this person." An elegant man values the work and intention behind each invitation. He responds with, "This event was planned with a specific number of guests in mind. I'll be happy to introduce your friend to the host on another more appropriate occasion." This response demonstrates consideration for both the host and the potential guest, without yielding to an inappropriate request. Have you noticed how the most respected men are precisely those who don't yield to inconvenient social pressures? This is just one example of how establishing clear boundaries elevates your social status. But what about when the request comes disguised as family? Responsibility. 7. Can you watch my kids? There is a fundamental difference between offering help and having help demanded of you, especially when it involves the responsibility of caring for children. An elegant man understands that there is no shame in recognizing his limitations or preferences. He responds with, "I greatly value the trust you place in me, but I don't feel adequately prepared for this responsibility. Can I help find an alternative solution for you?" This response is honest and offers genuine assistance without committing to something that is beyond his comfort or abilities. Remember, assuming responsibilities for which you are not prepared or willing is not kindness, it's recklessness. And an elegant man never confuses the two. And speaking of financial responsibilities. 8. Can you pay my share this time? Balance in social relationships is not limited to emotional exchanges. It also includes financial reciprocity. When someone constantly expects you to cover their expenses, they're reestablishing an unbalanced dynamic that rarely ends well. An elegant man values relationships based on mutual respect. He responds with, "I've covered other occasions, and today I am carefully following my budget. Perhaps we can choose something within your current budget?" This response is firm, but offers an alternative solution that preserves the dignity of both parties. Generosity is an admirable virtue when it arises from free choice, not from manipulation or external expectation. An elegant man is generous by choice, never by obligation. Have you noticed how certain people seem to magnetically attract financial freeloaders? Usually, they are those who haven't mastered the art of saying no. And when it comes to your time, your most precious resource. 9. Can you change your plans for me? Your time is the most valuable resource you possess. Every minute spent is a minute that will never return. When someone asks you to change your plans at the last minute, they essentially saying that their priorities are more important than yours. An elegant man understands the value of his word and his commitments. He responds with, "I've already committed to these plans and intend to honor them. Can we find an alternative that works for both of us at another time?" This response demonstrates integrity and respect, both for your own commitments and for the person who made the request. Consistency and reliability are marks of a man of value. When you constantly change your plans to accommodate last-minute requests, you send a clear message. Your priorities are fluid, and your word carries little weight. And last but not least. 10. Are you angry with me? This seemingly innocent question is often a gateway to unnecessary emotional drama. It transfers to you the responsibility of managing another person's emotions, as well as creating a dynamic where you constantly need to reassure someone insecure. An elegant man values direct communication and emotional maturity. He responds with, "I appreciate your concern, but I prefer direct communication. If there's something that needs to be discussed, I'll initiate the conversation at the appropriate time." This response establishes a clear expectation of mature communication, without feeding insecurities or drama. Remember, an elegant man doesn't participate in emotional games. He values clarity, honesty, and emotional responsibility, both in himself and in others. The art of saying no with elegance. Learning to say no is like learning to wear a high-tailored suit. Initially, it may seem uncomfortable, but over time, it becomes a second skin. The key to an elegant no lies in 3 elements: firmness without aggression, brevity without rudeness, alternatives without commitment. When you master the art of refusing with class, something extraordinary happens. People begin to respect you more, not less. Your yeses gain weight because they are conscious choices, not automatic reflexes. The philosopher Seneca said 2,000 years ago, "It is not the man who has little, but he who desires more, who is poor." Similarly, it is not the man who does little, but the one who does not know when to stop who fails. If you want to transform your elegance into power and success, subscribe now to the Man of Elegance channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave your like on this video. Each week, I will reveal the secrets that separate extraordinary men from ordinary men. What you learned today goes far beyond simple social etiquette. These are fundamental principles of self-preservation in a world that constantly tries to take your time, money, and energy. No is power. Comment this phrase below if this video changed your perspective on establishing boundaries. Until the next video.